The flash drive landed on the table like a live grenade. "Commander," the videographer rasped, sliding the blinds shut with one trembling finger. "You weren't meant to see this. Promise me, don't tell your family yet. I'm Captain Elena Reyes, Naval Special Warfare, and I've stared down rifle barrels in 3 war zones." But that silver sliver of plastic? It detonated everything. 2 weeks after I married Marcus Hale in a sun-drenched vineyard outside San Diego, I thought the only surprises left were honeymoon photos. Instead, I sat in a dim editing suite and watched a 30-second clip, a reflection in the polished chrome of the dessert cart. Marcus, my husband, pressing my best friend, Lieutenant Sasha Brooks, against the tense canvas wall. Her laugh muffled against his collar. His hand sliding lower. The timestamp read 22:47, right after our first dance. I played it again. And again. Until the pixels burned. "Why show me?" I asked, voice flat as a debrief. The videographer swallowed. "Because lies rot faster in the dark." I drove home along the Pacific Coast Highway, salt wind whipping through the open window. My dress blues hung on the passenger seat, the gold oak leaves on the collar mocking me. I'd survived night jumps into black water, but this was a blindside I never trained for. Marcus was in DC for consulting. Translation: another week of hotel bars and encrypted texts. I poured a finger of bourbon, opened the cloud folder Sasha and I had used for wedding spreadsheets, and started hunting. Between seating charts and floral invoices, I found a subfolder labeled expenses. Inside, hotel receipts stretching back 9 months. 2 names on every reservation, Hale and Brooks. Notes in the margins: "Miss you tonight, she'll be on the carrier till Friday." My pulse hammered like rotor wash. I copied everything to a new drive, labeled it Intel, and locked it in the safe behind my dive knife. Next morning I ran the Coronado Strand until my lungs screamed. The ocean looked innocent, glittering under a liar's sun. My mother's voice drifted up from memory: "Love is reconnaissance, Mija. Trust, but verify." Mom had been an Air Force flight nurse, she knew about long absences and longer silences. I texted her, "Brunch Sunday?" She replied instantly, "Pancakes at 0900. Bring your appetite and your honesty." Saturday, Marcus came home early, tie loosened, smile practiced. He kissed my cheek like nothing had changed. I watched the micro-ticks I'd learned to read in interrogation training, the half-second too long before eye contact, the throat bob clear. Guilty men telegraph. That night I cooked his favorite, filet, roasted asparagus, the good Cabernet. I wore the emerald dress he once said made me look untouchable. I was counting on it. After dessert I dimmed the lights and cued the laptop to the TV. Slideshow, rehearsal luau, Mom pinning my orchid lei, my squadron saluting with raised coconut cups. Marcus relaxed, wine glass tilting. Then the clip. The chrome reflection. Sasha's fingers in his hair. The glass slipped from his hand, red blooming across the rug like arterial spray. "How long?" I asked, voice steady as a sniper's breath. He opened his mouth. Closed it. "Elena." Timeline: Marcus. Not excuses. He exhaled like a man surfacing from deep water. Started last deployment. You were gone 6 months. Sasha was convenient. Convenient. I tasted the word, metallic. Like a sidearm you forgot to register? His eyes flicked to the screen, frozen on his own face. I thought it would burn out after the wedding. I advanced the slide. A new image, a bank transfer screenshot, $12,000 from a Shell LLC to an account ending in Sasha's initials. Another, an encrypted file labeled Logistics Routes, Pacific Fleet. My clearance had been the key, their affair had been the distraction. Marcus paled. You hacked my... I audited my life. I leaned in. You used my access codes to skim fleet movements. That's not an affair, Marcus. That's espionage light. He lunged for the laptop. I blocked him with a forearm bar, standard CQC. Sit. For the first time, fear replaced calculation in his eyes. I gave him 30 minutes to pack a go-bag. Hotel key on the counter. Counseling starts Monday, separate therapists. We'll talk logistics after I brief my CO. You're making this a court-martial, he hissed. No, I said. I'm making it federal. Sunday pancakes tasted like ash, but Mom noticed nothing until I slid the drive across the table. She watched the clip once, face unreadable, then closed the laptop. Your father would say, fight the mission in front of you, not the ghost behind you. Dad's trident gleamed in the small velvet box she pushed toward me. Inside, a new engraving on the back, for clarity, not carnage. Monday I walked into NAVSpec War headquarters in crisp khakis. Captain Doyle didn't blink when I laid out the evidence, affair, data leak, foreign LLC. He made one call. By 1400, NCIS had a file thicker than my service jacket. They wanted a controlled meet. I became the bait. Friday, 1900. A bland conference room in a leased office park. Hidden mics, pinhole lenses, NCIS agents in the next suite. I wore civilian black, hair down, civilian enough to lull, operator enough to kill if needed. Marcus arrived first, suit rumpled, hope flickering. Sasha followed, eyes red-rimmed. The air smelled of burnt coffee and desperation. I started soft. I'm offering absolution. One chance to confess everything, on record. Marcus cracked first. It was supposed to be a one-time payout. Sasha needed money for her mother's treatment. I facilitated. No one was supposed to get hurt. Sasha's voice shook. We rerouted surplus contracts. Skimmed margins. The wedding gave us cover, your security badge, Elena. The agents breached at 1914. Cuffs clicked like camera shutters. Marcus looked at me, stunned. You wore a wire? I wore the truth. They were escorted out under fluorescent glare. Sasha whispered, I'm sorry, but the words dissolved before they reached me. 6 months later I stood at the Veterans Resilience Center in Coronado, teaching a classroom of young women how to spot emotional ambushes before they detonate. My new ink, a single compass rose on my wrist, reminded me, true north isn't a place. It's a decision. The videographer, Javier Ruiz, showed up one afternoon with an envelope. Inside, a photo from the wedding I'd never seen. Me alone on the cliff at sunset, Dale whipping like a battle flag, Pacific Ocean catching fire behind me. No Marcus. No Sasha. Just me, standing tall before everything burned. Proof the day wasn't all ashes, he said. I hung it outside my office. Caption, she navigated by stars no one else could see. That night I scattered Dad's ashes at Point Loma. The urn was light, the legacy wasn't. I kept the trident in my pocket, warm from body heat. Mom called at 2200. Your father's smiling tonight, Mija. He says you finally learned the difference between surrender and strategic retreat. I laughed, first real one in months. Copy that. A year later I deployed again, not to a hot zone, but to a podium at the Naval Academy. Midshipmen leaned forward as I told them the unvarnished version. Betrayal is just another battlefield. The objective isn't destruction. It's extraction of your integrity, intact. Afterward, a plebe asked, Ma'am, how do you forgive? I touched the compass rose. You don't absolve them. You absolve yourself of carrying their weight. I still run the strand at dawn. The ocean no longer looks innocent, it looks honest. Waves don't lie about their undertow. And every time I pass the cliff where the photo was taken, I pause. The sun still catches fire on the water. I still stand tall.